right, hello everybody. Welcome back to another episode of dPod. We are continuing our couple series, and today we have on a couple and a particular sister who's been avoiding this dPod for a long time. We have Josh and Nancy.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Well, I just started off with an accusation, didn't I?
Thanks.
Start off strong.
Yeah. I feel like actually when we were slated to go to North Carolina, and I think before we moved, like we recorded a bunch of episodes, but we didn't get to like Nancy. I think she said something about it. I think she said like, "Oh my gosh, I'm glad that I don't have to be on dPod or something."
Yeah, she's like, I almost got away with it.
I know.
Yes.
But here, I remembered it now. Finally, Nancy is joining us here. Thank you, Nancy.
Thanks for still being here. I'm glad you guys didn't go to NC after all.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. So Josh and Nancy have been, in Chicago, serving in Chicago since 2021, right? And then took over the international ministry when we sent off Brandon and Cindy to unnamed country in East Asia that we were not allowed to name. So they've been taken over, and we've been able to work closely with them, and I really appreciate this couple. And as we have done with the other couples, I want to start off with a little game. All right. So we call it the newlywed game. You guys aren't exactly newlyweds anymore. How many years now have you been married?
Like 5 years?
Past our 5-year anniversary.
Wow. Recently? Was that recent?
October.
Oh, nice. Congrats. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Kat and I are almost on our 10. It's coming up.
Wow.
It's exciting. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask you a question about like each other, and you have to like guess it at the same time. Okay. So let's start with, what is Nancy's least favorite vegetable? I mean, I know she doesn't like any vegetables, Josh, right? But
Yep.
well, what is her least favorite vegetable? And you have to say it at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
You ready? Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Onions.
Oh, yes. Okay. Well, actually, that was an easy one. Oh, that's right.
That was low ball.
I knew this. That was a super low ball. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's
if
right.
you didn't know that one.
Oh, yeah. Oh man, I know. Then we'd have to have marriage counseling instead. All right. So, okay. What is Josh's least favorite vegetable?
I'm actually not sure.
Josh himself is not sure. Should we switch it? Should we make it favorite vegetable? Is that more clear?
Yeah, I don't like vegetables in general.
Okay, let's just go with least favorite. Let's see what your guess is. Let's see what the guess is. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Bell peppers?
I have no idea.
You have to just guess, Nancy. It's a guessing game. Nice. All right. Okay. All right. We'll move on to something else. All right. What is Nancy's coffee or tea order? Okay. So you go to like a coffee or tea shop. What is the order? Default order. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Soy latte.
Oh, okay. All right. You knew that. All right. What about Josh? What is Josh's tea or coffee order? 3, 2, 1.
Chai
Oolong
latte.
milk tea.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I guess I mentioned tea, but chai latte would have been my coffee order.
Oh, I see. Chai latte. So basically, you don't want coffee. You want.
Yeah, I'm in it for the sugar.
You're because chai is just tea, right? So tea. Yeah. Anyways, tea with milk. All right. So chai latte. All right. Nice. Okay. What is the weirdest thing that your spouse does when they think no one's watching? Okay. So we'll start with Josh. 3, 2, 1.
Singing high notes.
He does this basketball
Oh, yeah, I do
thing.
that too.
I don't know how to describe.
Random. Oh, so Nancy's like doing she's just doing like a basketball shot with no ball with no ball in her. It's just out of nowhere.
Just any moment.
Is it like a turnaround jumper? Do you like turn around or?
No, it's more like a shimmy, fade, and then step back 3.
We just do this out of the blue.
Yeah, just like you just practice in your mind. So you're ready.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that.
Random times at
Wow.
home.
Okay, but he says that he also sings in high notes. Is that true?
I probably do the basketball thing more often, but I don't think about that as something weird I do. I guess I just.
But Nancy thinks it's really
but I'm
weird.
like-
What are you doing? But one of these days, Nancy, Micah's gonna do it too.
We're gonna train them in the ways.
Yeah. Actually, to be honest, I do that too. I do the shimmy, but then mine's a turnaround jumper. It's not a 3-pointer. But it's funny because I can't actually do a turnaround jumper in real life.
No, you're famous for the DP3.
The DP3, yeah. Mine's a 3-pointer. The DP3. Anyways, yeah. All right. Okay. What about Nancy? All right. We threw shade on Josh, so we got to turn it around here. All right. What is the weirdest thing that Nancy does when no one's watching? I'm getting looks of utter confusion. I feel like what I'm reading in Josh's face is I don't think Nancy does anything weird.
Yeah, it's just like normal things.
Or you just have to come
Maybe
up
you're
with
just
something.
not watching. So
Oh. No, she's really good at hiding it. Like, because it's supposed to be when nobody's watching. So she actually does it when nobody's watching. So you wouldn't know. 3, 2, 1.
Cleaning?
Okay, all right. You know, Nancy is quite a normal person. Do you have something that you want to confess, Nancy, that you do when no one's watching? When you think no one's watching?
I do sing, but
Oh.
I'm not musical.
Oh.
So when no one
If no
one's
one is
watching-
there?
Well, actually, these days I'm okay if Josh is there.
Oh,
'cause
okay,
I
okay.
don't care anymore.
You don't care anymore.
So to him, it's probably a suffering experience.
Do you know what this experience is, Josh?
Oh yeah, sometimes like we would sing together too, and I'm like, oh, are you trying to harmonize? And I'm like, oh, it sounds pretty good. He's like, no.
Oh my gosh.
I can only do that when
Oh wow.
to not ruin.
Yeah. No, I was having a discussion with some brothers recently about tone deaf. Oh, maybe it was yesterday about tone deaf people and how actually it's better if some people are like really tone deaf and then they then they don't even try to hit notes. They just basically talk sing. So like that's like one thing. But then there's some people are like tone deaf, or they're not necessarily tone deaf. They can kind of hear the notes, but then they can't get their voice to do the note. And so then they're like inconsistently off. Like every note is different. And those people, it's like really hard to sing next to them because inevitably, because singing is sort of a social thing. So you end up like adopting their note or like you keep moving in their direction. Yeah. Anyways, you know this.
It's only worshipful for one of you guys.
I'm the second category.
So you get close enough.
I know I'm off,
Oh yeah.
and it hurts when he reminds me I'm off.
Wow. Thank you for entrusting the entire internet to that knowledge.
I know. This is one of my hope in heaven
Oh.
that I will enjoy my own singing.
Oh, yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, amen. In heaven, perhaps we will all have perfect pitch and be able to hit the notes that we want to hit.
Yeah.
So to the glory of God. So amen. All right. Okay. Nice. Okay, that was fun. So let's talk a little bit about how you guys first met. Okay. So is there any story behind that? Like, I guess when did you start dating, or how'd you first meet, and then like how'd you guys start dating, like that kind of thing?
Yeah, so I was in IUSM since 2017. So IUSM is the undergraduate international group in Berkeley, and
International Undergraduate Student Ministry, right?
Yeah,
IUSM.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. And I joined in 2017, and then but I think that was the year that you, like Nancy, went to join A2F, like domestic college group. Yeah, but then later she was starting to attract a lot of like international Chinese students because that's who she attracts. And in the end,
Maybe because she is one.
Yeah, maybe, just maybe. And then, and at one point, like she came back to ISM, I think with the hope of bringing those students to IUSM.
Oh,
right?
I see.
So I think it was around like January of 2018 that you started coming back, quote unquote. And that's when I took notice of her. And I was like, oh, this is someone that, I would want to get to know better.
Wait, so when you graduated, Nancy, because you were in the international group as an undergrad, right? In Berkeley?
Yeah, basically all the way up till second year out of college, our international group wasn't that big. So then we got merged into A2F.
Oh, I see.
I had a choice to, if I wanted to serve in IGSM, which is the graduate student branch. But I was still pretty young. So then I just chose to join my friends at A2F. And that was the 1 year I was not in international ministry.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. I had forgotten about that. Okay, so you served in kind of college ministry, like with the A2F, and then
1 year.
For 1 year, and then came back to IU.
Yeah.
Was it ISM? Just combined.
IUSM.
Oh, it was IUSM. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what Josh was serving in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we basically missed each other
For a
that
year.
1 year. Yeah.
Yeah. But maybe it was meant to be. It's that Korean drama scene where like, da-na-na, and then like you miss each other on the escalator or something, only to fatefully meet again.
Yeah, it's fate.
I should add some like music to this right here, but anyways. Sir. Yeah. Okay, so from there, was it like pretty straightforward after that? Like you just like asked her out, or how'd that?
Yeah. So I vividly remember because that was the year when like I signed up to go serve in East Asia as well for 1 year. And yeah, I think like maybe like 2 or 3 months before I was going to, head out, I remember talking to my mentor at the time. I was like, oh, like I've kind of been thinking about dating and marriage, and like there's a person I would like to ask out. And at the time he was like, oh, I don't think this is like a good time to ask right now. You need to get your head in the game, and you're going to serve abroad. So yeah, maybe like later on we'll see. But yeah, maybe you could just like, hold off for now and trust God in this area.
And the reason is because you were about to go on foreign missions. Yeah. So you needed to be all there.
Yep.
Yeah. So how did you take that? Like how was that easy for you to take, or was that hard? Or
yeah, I mean, I was a little disappointed, but at the same time, I do understand. This is like our first time we're doing like a longer term like mission, and we want to be set up for success. And
it felt pretty scary for the network at the time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So that was kind of where I was at, and then it was like about maybe like half a year later. I remember this in November of 2018. That by then I was kind of like already like let go of that whole area. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna continue to focus here. But then when I was in East Asia, like my mentor, just randomly hit me up. He was like, hey, like, can we like talk? I'm like, oh, sure. So we were just like catching about life and about ministry. And he also brought up like, hey, have you been thinking about dating and marriage? I'm like, yeah.
Like, didn't we talk about this?
Yeah. And then he was telling me, oh, actually, yeah, and then he said, oh, is there someone specific you had in mind? I'm like, oh yeah, actually I do. He's like, oh, yeah, who would that be? And I was like, oh, Nancy. He's like, oh, that's interesting. I think we have a bingo. That's who I was going to recommend to you.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So turns out there's things going on back in Berkeley, and I guess Nancy has the backstory to that, but maybe you want to jump in here?
Sure. My side of the story was I didn't really know this Josh. I thought he was Korean.
You thought Josh was Korean?
Because
what?
His last name was not very usual. Like as someone who grew up in mainland China, I was like, why UNG? I don't recognize that.
Oh,
and
I
so
see.
I kind of treated him as a Korean, and then later I found out he's actually from Hong Kong.
Oh, I see.
But So for me, I had also that year I had also been thinking about just anxious. I think that's just in the 20s, anxious about the area of dating and marriage. And I have been talking with my mentor, which is Karen, who is Shufei's wife. They know both of us very well, and they were leading the Berkeley IUSM group. And I remember one time I just felt very stirred by a conversation we had with someone who had been serving in East Asia for a while, and was very convicted that as a fellow Chinese person, I really want to go out there and serve one day. And so one time Karen called me over to her place, and she sat me down, and she basically asked me, hey, yeah, I know you really want to go serve out there. How about marriage? And like it's something that I have been kind of thinking and praying about. And that's when she asked me, what do you think about Josh? I was like, oh, I mean,
that Korean guy?
I knew you weren't Korean at that point. But he actually would regularly send email updates to the whole team. So we kind of know what they were doing and different events they were hosting. So I had a fairly good positive impression of him. And because he was already there at the place I wanted to go serve. So I was glad open to give it a shot.
Yeah.
But the whole time that evening, so me and Karen, we were talking, and Karen was really saying good things about Josh. And then Shufei came downstairs, said more good things about Josh.
Wow, they're like really playing up Josh here.
Yeah. So, that really helped.
No pressure.
Oh, man. Wait, so that's interesting. So Josh, you finished your side of the story then. So then I guess from there you just asked.
Yeah, and from there, like I just emailed her, I think, and it's like, hey, like, I'm thinking about courtship, and I was wondering if you'd be interested in doing like a Zoom call. And then from there she said yes, and we started like talking like once a week.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, so you guys started dating while you were gone?
Yeah, we dated like virtually for I guess like
half a year.
Oh yeah, until you came back. Yeah.
Yeah. But the whole time I thought Shufei and Karen, they were the matchmakers, and Josh didn't do anything until later he told me his side of the story. He was like, yeah, actually, I noticed you too. I was like, oh. I was going to give all the credit to Karen and Shufei.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, yeah. Wait, so I guess the first conversation that you had with your leader or your mentor, I didn't mention who it was.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so he didn't know.
Yeah. Hey, can we? So I just want to talk about this because this idea that these older people, slightly older than you, that kind of know you guys both, and that these, in a way, I guess they set you up. Even though Josh had, I'm sure Josh would have asked anyways, but then like there was a little bit of like, I mean, even from Nancy's perspective, especially, like it seems like they're kind of recommending like, hey, why don't you give this a try? Mm-hmm. So how do you guys think about that? Because I could see some younger people hearing that and thinking, oh, is that like, isn't it like best if there's like, I don't know, attraction and you noticed each other from across the room and there's chemistry, which I'm sure all of that was there eventually, but that's not how this story starts. So then I could see some people being like, oh, isn't that kind of weird? Or like, so what was your, first of all, what was your position on that before, I guess? And kind of, if it at all differs from kind of how you feel about it now, like how would you explain that phenomena?
Yeah, I think on my end, I feel like my position on it hasn't changed because I think I still got what I wanted.
Right,
in the end.
that's true. Yeah,
so
because from your perspective, it just kind of worked out nicely.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But I do remember hearing stories like when I was a single person of like older bros who's like, oh yeah, like I started asking out this person because, you know, my mentor told me, it's like, oh yeah, this person's available and I think you guys might be compatible. Maybe you should give it a try. And then, you know, sometimes it doesn't work out, but there are times that it works out too. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I think as like a older person too, and then just, you know, having those kind of conversations with younger people, I'm like, yeah, I think there is like something about like, you know, if you have like a mentor who knows you really well and it kind of like knows your preferences and the way you are. And I think there is something valuable that they could offer from like a dating perspective. No, it's not like they own your dating experience at all or anything like that, but it's like, yeah, it might be worth a try at least.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I guess on my side, I didn't think too much about that at that moment. I actually just really trusted Karen and Shufei because they felt like not just my spiritual parents, but also just like older figures who cared about like all other aspects of my life because they knew me when I was a freshman. And I think, even when Karen first asked me about Josh, one thing I know is that even though maybe in their eyes, like they felt like we were compatible, but the option was left very open for me. And it was only after I said, sure, then they started getting excited and be like, oh yeah, and and then they told me different funny stories about Josh.
Because they know him really well too.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So I think even though it is true, like they had their, like, I guess, hopes or they felt like we could be a good match, but ultimately the decision was on me. Yeah. But it also really helped that both of them know both of us really well, even though we didn't overlap. Yeah. So I trusted that knowledge they had about Josh, which I didn't have at that moment.
Yeah. And I appreciate you guys sharing that. And I wanted to dive into it a little bit because sometimes people get kind of fuzzy thinking about this and they think like, oh, well, so does that mean they like, and they'll use really extreme language. Like, does that mean they like force you to get married or they'll use terms like arranged marriage, which this totally is not. It's more like, in Korean, there's a term called sogeting. Sogeting is like, it's like when you go on a first date because two people, like, you had mutual friends who arranged the first date for you, right? So I guess technically it's an arranged first date, but not an arranged marriage, right? Because from there it's like all totally up to you what you do with that. I mean, like, I hate this person, and that's actually my parents met on a sogeting too, like, and that was a very common way in which people would at least have a first date, and like, okay, well, like, is this a person that I want to pursue or not? So I think what people don't appreciate is that, well, okay, first of all, I think in our network, in our church right now, I think a vast majority of people meet each other just through organic means. So I think that's true. But there's still a lot of this kind of stuff where like an older mentor who and it usually involves a mentor who knows both parties, like saying like, hey, you know, like based on what I know about you and what I know about this person, you know, it might be worth a shot or something like that. And I think there is a significant minority of people who meet each other through those kinds of means as well. And actually, like I think it's sad that more people in the world don't have access to that, because there's something really like, as I think about the picture of like Karen and Shufei being like, oh, I feel like Josh would be really good for Nancy, you know, and like, hey, Nancy, what do you think? And you're like, oh yeah, I'm open to it. And then they're like, and then after that, they're like, oh yeah, okay, I can see this, okay. And then from there, they just let you guys work it out. For me, that's a really beautiful picture because you know, Nancy, like you became Christian at our church. Was it under Karen Shufei? Or was it?
They were also in the same group.
Okay, in the same group, yeah. They've kind of seen you
from a totally non-church person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just international student, came, discovered church, and became saved, and then now discipling you and helping you become a minister of the gospel. I mean, so clearly they care for you a lot, and to have a trusted person that it's like closer than an auntie and an uncle, even in some senses closer than parents in some respects. Like them, someone you really trust saying, hey, this person might be good for you. Like, actually, man, I feel like there's a great power and warmth, and that's sort of a testament to the kind of trusting relationship that you had with them. So, I feel like that's actually a huge blessing when that can even happen. So anyways, wow, I didn't think we were going to talk about that, but thank you for engaging me on that question. So as you were dating, was there anything, I don't know, any funny stories from when you guys were dating that you guys want to share with the entire internet?
Yeah, just the entire internet.
Because you know everyone's listening. It's gonna be like billions of people listening.
Yeah,
to this.
true. Yeah. Yeah, I think one that comes to mind is our first in-person date. So we had been like, I guess like talking like for about a month, and then for our all team retreat, like we all came back together and in California. And that's when I was like, oh, this like can be my chance. We actually got to meet in person.
Oh, because you flew back for that.
Yeah, we flew back for that retreat.
Right.
Yeah. So this was in December of 2020. And I remember
2018.
Oh, sorry, 2018.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then, I remember I was like very excited. So because I know she likes water and I like beach. So I planned like this walk around, like I forgot what lake it was. It was like some lake in Bay Area. And afterwards, I also planned for an escape room. So usually escape rooms are like, you need like 6-10 people. I'm like, I don't want to be with some random people. Like, we're just gonna do this ourselves. And then I'm also in the back of my mind, another brilliant reason is that this is gonna be a stress test. Like, I want to see what she's like under pressure. Oh, because I don't have. Wow. We're virtual all the time, right? So I need to see what she's made of.
Yeah, what is she made of, man?
Yeah.
Don't so recommend this.
That was my brilliant idea. I got a lot of good data though. Yeah.
Oh.
And I was really mentally tired after, and we didn't succeed.
You did not succeed.
No.
Well, I mean, of course we're gonna fail.
But Josh just wanted to know, how do you respond under failure? Yeah. So what did you learn about Nancy during that escape room, Josh?
Yeah, she's very calm under stress, and then like she's able to laugh about like failure, which I think is important in person. Yeah.
No, I think that's true about Nancy. Yeah.
I don't know if I just put up a smile.
I mean, obviously she was on her best behavior. I mean, she's not going to like throw a tantrum, hopefully, when it's her first in-person date.
Yeah, I think if I did it today, like, she would just like walk out or something.
Nancy, how do you feel about the fact that Josh had this ulterior motive in mind during your first date, in-person date?
Yeah, I felt a little, it was too much. I was just expecting a nice chill date, and then after 2 hours, I felt like my brain was dead, basically. Anyway.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about on your end, Nancy? Is there anything memorable? Or?
Yeah, I guess for me, what comes to my mind is a big chunk of... So after... This was actually when we were engaged, but we were married, and a good chunk of that engagement was COVID shutdown. And so I just remember we would call each other on the phone, but both be in our cars so that we stay in our social bubble.
Oh my gosh.
Quote unquote.
Our cars are right next to each other. We're just like driving side by side.
No way.
So we're on a walk in our car bubbles
Oh my god!
during COVID.
Wait, that's crazy.
Just trying to find different ways to, I guess, see each other.
Yeah.
Technically abide by the rule.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
very
know.
Californian of you guys.
I guess
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. You should have just moved to the Midwest and then you could have just.
Oh yeah, I know.
Wild West.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
just gotta be creative.
Yeah.
During
Yeah.
those times.
Wait,
Yeah.
so what? You were engaged before COVID or during COVID? Or
We were engaged right before,
right before? Oh, shoot.
and then COVID started like 2-3 months after
Yeah,
that.
and we pushed back our wedding date like 2-3 times.
Oh, because
Yeah.
of COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And then you ended up getting married when?
October 2020.
2020, yeah.
Oh, okay. So I see. So
Basically that.
it was that year
year.
still, but you had to push it back because
Yeah.
things kept getting worse and worse.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
we wanted our parents to be able to fly
Oh.
from Asia, but I think then it just got worse
Yeah.
with international travel too. So in the end, they attended our wedding on Zoom.
Oh, okay. So you were one of those weddings. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was hard for people. Yeah. I mean, that felt like it was it was like stuck between a rock and a hard place because, I mean, how like we didn't know how long it would last, right? And so I remember those were tough, and that's when we started doing these Zoom weddings and
Yeah.
so that people could join internationally and things like that. So yeah, that was hard. All right, so but I guess wow. So you've been married now 5 years, and so what has been, if you had to choose like one lesson from marriage so far, like what's kind of one big lesson that you've learned?
Yeah, I think for me, it's learning to be assertive about like what I want or like what I'm feeling, because I think by Enneagrams, we're both type 9s. We're both like very like peacemakers. So I think by nature, we don't actually fight very often. It's because I think we're both like very accommodating of one another, which I think is a good thing. But I think like the underbelly of that is that sometimes like I find myself agreeing to things or just like going with things, but then later I'll feel like, oh, like I'm not happy. Like why are we doing this? Why do we do this?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then I'll be like kind of resentful or like blaming. Right. So that's something like I learned. I need to express myself more if I feel strongly enough about something. And then, but even if don't, if we decide on something, then I should just buy into it and not like, I guess there's a story about that later.
Yeah. What about you, Nancy? What's been like a big lesson from marriage so far?
I was going to say exactly the same thing. I guess we're both type 9.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But on top of that, I guess something that I'm learning is it's always better to just say sorry, even though I'm not emotionally quite there. And actually, Josh is a lot better at that. Like when we are feeling like things are kind of tense or we're disagreeing about something, he actually takes the initiative to say sorry. But I guess what I'm learning about myself is that it takes me a lot longer. But when I do that, it helps move things forward.
Right.
So that's been helpful in our conflict management.
Yeah. And then the lessons you learn from your marriage, I mean, it helps you to be more assertive, to exercise that newfound skill in all of your relationships, in ministry, in work. So yeah. So as you think about your 5 years of marriage, are there any disagreements or tensions that you had that are funny now? It might not have been funny back then, but some ways in which your mutual type 9-ness worked itself out in specific scenarios.
Yeah. So I have a specific story about the kind of scenario I shared earlier. So I think this was after we got engaged in 2019. Yeah, that we were doing some kind of outreach. I remember we were like on Sprawl. So Sprawl is like the main, I guess, like center of campus at UC Berkeley. So that's where all the clubs will like table and try to get the word out, different things. I remember it was like winter and we were trying to do like an outreach event or like outreach for an event. And we're like, hey, like, why don't we do like a tea outreach? We'll have like a little teapot and like people can drop by and drink tea and talk and get to know us. And Yeah, I think at the time I was like not totally bought into this idea. But then Nancy was like really advocating for it. So I was like, okay, fine, we'll do it. And then later, like not many people drop by. And then, after we pack up and we load everything into our car and we get in the car, then I'm like, I told you so. And it was like silence.
Oh, you said that?
Yeah. And then like 3 seconds later, I knew I messed up.
Wait, so was this outreach just the two of you?
There's other people.
Yeah, there's
other people.
But we were kind of like in charge of that.
Oh, okay. But then Nancy really pushed for this idea. And after it's over, were you feeling already like, oh man, it didn't go that well? Is that how you were feeling?
Yeah, as time went by, I was like, I guess it's not as good as I thought. And it didn't help that he said that sentence.
And so Josh is full on, nah, 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 nah. I told you so.
Like, what? I thought we were on the same team.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's great. Oh, my gosh.
We've come a long way.
Yeah. Wow. We should say I told you so to Josh just randomly.
Oh, yeah. I don't do that kind of stuff anymore.
Yeah, that's good. It's good.
At least out loud.
You learned. Yeah. Wow. That could have potentially just ended it right there. Nice.
I guess on my end, silly disagreement earlier on was, so this actually happened the second week of our marriage. We somehow, I'm a very rigid person. And I think before our wedding, we kind of talked about, how should we split the chores and different things. And our division of labor was that I would cook and then he'll do the dishes. So it sounds like we're entering into a perfect, like, this is the picture of marriage. And it's gonna happen that way. But then because it was COVID, so we were cooking at home a lot. And I think one day Josh got tired of doing dishes, and then he was like, "Can you do it?" And at that moment, I felt like, "What? But you promised
you broke the contract."
You told me you're gonna do the dishes. I already cooked. Anyway, so now I can laugh about it. But that night I was not happy. I was like, who is this man that I married? And
unfaithful man.
But instead of expressing my frustration, I just cried on my own. And next day, I went to Karen and I told her about this whole thing. And then she just laughed at me. She was like, wow, you guys are so petty.
Yeah.
In my mind, I had to kind of work through but I feel so justified because he thought, he promised me he would be doing that.
Yeah.
And then I just realized marriage is not always fair. And I can't just expect Josh to always be the one keeping up the promise either, or just have the even division of labor.
Yeah.
A lot of it is just noticing the need and, okay, if I notice it, I'll just do it. So I guess that's a good lesson I learned early on in marriage. Like, I don't have to be so black and white.
Yeah. I guess all in all, marriage should be fair. It should be fair. There should be kind of an equal burden lifting, I think, between the spouses for all things related to married life. But the funny part is the rigidity with which, I guess, you're like, it's almost like you had a prenuptial agreement or something where this marriage is only valid insofar as Joshua Young, you do the dishes every day for the rest of your life. So it's like, no, that's funny. No, so it's very understandable where you're coming from, but yeah, but as you've, I'm sure, learned many times since then, it's a little bit more complicated than that in terms of just bearing one another's burdens and doing life together and being equal partners. Yeah.
It also didn't help that I grew up watching a lot of Korean dramas, so I thought I was entering to a perfect marriage.
Yeah, I'm still not Korean. So.
I married a Chinese man.
That's so funny. Oh man. Wait, but those Korean dramas don't depict they depict a lot of messed up marriages too, but I guess you did.
I just chose to.
You just watched certain ones. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. Anyways, never mind. I don't want to get into Korean dramas right now. That's for we should have a different podcast episode about Korean dramas.
Oh, yeah, the extended version.
Yeah, and all the people who watch Korean dramas and all the ways that messed up your view of life. Wow, that sounds like a really interesting episode.
Wow.
Who else should be on this episode besides you, Nancy? Because you watch a lot of Korean dramas.
Oh no!
But who else do you know in our team?
Yeah,
this
expose them.
Yeah, time to expose people right now.
Who else?
Actually, I don't know. I'm sure all of them.
Yeah, we need to take a survey.
Yeah.
I think Kata did. Or maybe she didn't. Dang, I don't even know this about my own wife.
I don't know.
Is that just because she's Korean?
That's a good guess.
Yeah, that's a pretty good guess.
know.
That's a pretty good guess. That's funny. All right, so just on the last thing on the marriage topic, you've been, so it's been 5 years, which means it's been 5 years since you were single. And I think singleness, we've been doing these like couples podcasts, so then but I also want to talk about the importance of singleness, because that's like a really important time in which you can grow as a person. At our church, a lot of the singles, they live together, like in single gender homes, and they get to experience deep friendships because of that. And so I think your relational world is actually quite rich as a single, like in our network. What is something from that time, from when you were single, that you cherish, that you look back on with fondness, now that you're married and you're kind of removed from that now, but like kind of you look back on like, oh, that was really special that we experienced that.
Yeah, I guess for me, I lived with like a bunch of single sisters starting junior year. I was already living with like another friend that was also part of IUSM. And then when we graduated, we moved into a house of 9 sisters, I think. And that continued on for a couple of years until I got married. And I think I didn't appreciate it as much until after I got married, how much I drew strength from just having like catch up conversations and like sharing about what's been going on our mind and what we've been feeling just anytime. And it can be after work. It can be when we're both getting ready for bed, brushing our teeth. We call it like a bathroom fellowship sort of time.
Bathroom fellowship.
And because we were also like involved in different ministries too. But there's always like someone who's down to talk. And then when I got married, I realized that's not something that Josh is an expert in providing. And there's a lot of times where he doesn't
want to have bathroom fellowship. Like,
yeah, I don't think we've had that.
Yeah, we still don't have that actually. So I think that's just something that sisters can provide for each other.
Yeah.
That is not necessarily part of the genes for a guy. So
yeah. Most guys don't really want to talk, I guess, late into the night about how you're feeling and everything you're experiencing. There's that funny story from my first week of marriage with Kata, where I'm like, I'm gonna be a good husband, and we didn't get our apartment keys until after we got back to our honeymoon, because we were waiting for this like apartment to open up that was a little cheaper, and so then we got it, and then so then we didn't have the apartment ready yet, so I was like, I'm gonna get it ready, so we got all the furniture, and I was every night, I'm building furniture, and I'm like, damn, I'm such a sacrificial husband, I'm awesome, and then on one of the nights, Kata just like comes to the living room, she sits on the couch, and she starts crying. And she says, I miss my friends. I was like, I have done something wrong, and I'm not sure what it is. But it was basically because she also lived in a house of like 7 girls, and they would constantly talk and constantly process emotions together. And she's not even that needy of as far as women go. I think Kata, she would rate herself as like not being that emotionally needy. But I think after about like 3-4 straight days of me not talking, I realized I wasn't talking to her because I'm building furniture, man. I'm like, I'm busy. Can't you see I'm sacrificing for you here? She's like, I miss my friends. I'm like, is everything okay? And that led to a long talk that night. Yeah.
Eye-opening.
So it's very eye-opening. But yeah, I hear you. I hear you, Nancy. So I'm sure that's something that Kata cherished as well. What about for you, Josh?
Yeah, I think for me, I think 2 things come to mind. One is just like late night basketball fellowship at HB.
Yeah.
So HB is like our church building in NorCal, and then back then I was serving in like the kids ministry. So it's like we're kind of busy during the day, but at night it's usually pretty free. And so I remember just like working in HB and just playing a lot of basketball, like 2-3 times a week. there, and like there I got to know like a lot of like the brothers, like the younger guys, and even like the network directors. They always like hoop there, so I got to like just fellowship with a lot of these guys just through that time. And then I remember after I got married, I'm like, oh, I need to ask my wife if I can go now. I'm like, wow,
this is different.
yeah, I have an approver. Like I can't just go whenever I want and just stay till midnight. You know?
I never said no.
That's true.
For
yeah,
the record.
very good wife.
Yeah. Because Nancy can't fill that void either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not gonna go.
Neither do I want to.
Go hoop with Josh at like LA Fitness or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the second thing would just be like having a lot of free time to like learn new skills. So I just remember like whenever we had like a potluck or like just like a bros, like combined bros dinner, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to try to learn a new dish. I'm going to try to use sous vide or try this other dish like beef noodle soup, right? And just having a lot of time to just experiment and just like work, like hone on my craft. And yeah, just even there's a lot of projects that, you know, like all the bros are called in to like, hey, let's build this passion experience like museum thing. So it's like a lot of handiwork, it's a lot of like training. And yeah, just looking back then, it's like, wow, I had like a lot of free time, which like if I were to try to learn these things now, it'd be like, it's still doable, but it's just like, I don't have that time to like just experiment and like make a lot of mistakes along the way.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is that just you don't have any more freedom. You have to ask for permission to go play basketball. You don't have time to learn new skills.
Yeah. I want to go to this tech and arts camp and these other training things, but I have kids now.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Yeah. No, for sure though. I mean, I'm joking about it, but like, you know, you married and you have kids, and then now you can soon have 2 kids, and you know, the responsibilities grow. And not only that, I mean, it's not just marriage. It's like you guys are leading a ministry now, and you know, there's like just life pours on responsibilities on top of you. And so I think the part of what I'm hearing you say is that it's not just being single, but being a young single man where life, family, job, like all of those things you're kind of all at the beginner stages still. And so there's still a lot of leeway. I was actually listening to a podcast recently about how to be a man, like one of the ways to define how to be a man is that you have to be confident and competent. Right? Confident competence is what makes men feel like men. And so when you're young and you have time, you have to grow in your confidence, but you grow in your confidence by becoming competent at many things, at a variety of things. And I do think that when I look at like young single men, like that is what I would hope that they're working on. Like work on practical skills, dude. Like learn how to do stuff. Everything from sports to like being good at your job and your craft, to like learning the Bible and learning how to relate with people, learning how to say hi and bye and thank you and sorry. Like these are all like life competency issues. More you learn, the more you get comfortable with this, the more you'll be confident, and therefore like a better dad and a better husband later on in life. So just to kind of add a little bit more texture to what Josh is saying after I made fun of it. So
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's good. All right, so kind of the last set of things I want to talk about with you guys for today is sort of how. So we're kind of bringing it back to present day now. So you know, we've been together, serving together, kind of more closely for the last year and a half. After me and Kata kind of took international ministry under our wing, and then this past summer we obviously had a lot of transitions with people moving, us moving to Morton Grove, all of that, and then you guys also taking on both the North Side and South Side ministries for international. So how has God been speaking to you? What has He been showing you? Kind of, you know, we continuously grow and God speaks to us throughout our lives. So I guess how have you been experiencing God shaping you this year so far?
Yeah, I think for me, it's learning to be a bigger church family together. I think like when we first moved here in like 2021, you know, like North and South was like pretty separated. And then like college and international domains, they were like, no. Like we would like worship together and things like that. But like, I think in terms of like day-to-day ministry, a lot of it just feels like very separated too. But I think,
and for people who don't know, it's because we basically ran as 4 churches almost, right? So we had the Evanston International Group, and that was led by Will and Alex. And then there was the Evanston College Group led by Kevin and Emily. And then there was the Hyde Park College Group led by me and Kata. And then there was the Hyde Park International Group led by Brandon and Cindy. And even though we were all part of the same network, essentially we had individual schedules. And so we felt like 4 churches in occasional partnership with each other.
Yeah.
That's how I would describe it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I vividly remember like our first combined like Thanksgiving service, like back in like in Hyde Park, and where we all got together. And then the student was asking me, "Oh, like who are those people?" Like,
At like
what group are they?
Cami, right?
Yeah, Cami. Yeah. And I'm like, we're like,
how do I explain this?
yeah,
Why are we meeting with them?
yeah. So I'm like, but versus like now, it's like really different because we're all living in like, most of us are living in the same building together. Like we work together, and like we have one like consolidated church service more or less together. And yeah, I think with that, it does feel like one big family. We run to each other in the hallway, and we can help each other with like life things. Yeah, but I think like part of that too is just like learning, the core value of like we, not me, right? I think sometimes I think of like the past model, and in some ways it's like, oh, it's like, more optimized in terms of my personal ministry, or like, time and schedule to do like what I think will help. But then I think being a larger church together, it's like, hey, sometimes I have to help with childcare, and sometimes, I'm going to run like tech and like, help pick up food in other ways. And in some ways we're like supporting one another and being the church together. And I think that, that's something I think is beautiful too, because I think even as students see, it's like, oh wow, who are these older people who are helping with the background? It's like, I think we're being the body of Christ together. And I think, strategy aside, I think we are reaching like more people as a result as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a transition. I think network wide, we're kind of experimenting with different ways of doing a ministry and being the church. So the fact that there was a period where we really optimized by what we call domain, right? So you guys are sort of serving in the international domain, serving international students. We sort of the college, what we call college domain, focused on undergrads, and they can be international students, but it's sort of it's like college undergrads. Okay, like how do we reach them? And we sort of specialized in those domains, and I think that was necessary for a long period at our church to figure out what is the difference between a domestic student and an international student, and what kind of stuff works and doesn't work, and undergrads versus grad students, and so that was all necessary. And then I think network wide, we felt sort of also though that this kind of I don't want to call it false, but it's like this, it's a construct. Like the domain is just a construct that we came up with. And then it was actually affecting our day-to-day life of like our team, like our team members who we really consider like the core people that are trying to pour out into the ministry. Like it was really strange that we were in Hyde Park together, but essentially our lives would not overlap all that much, right? And so there felt like a little bit of disconnect there. Like, hey, we're part of the same church, except like we never see you, and we never actually rely on each other. And so when we moved toward kind of what we call now cross domain, or kind of having a little bit more flexibility about helping each other across domains and things like that has really allowed me. Like, and for me, like in my official ministry designation now, it lists both college and international. So I'm officially like a full-time lead over both domains. And that has really expanded sort of my heart and my care also to make sure that I'm caring for everyone in the city and not like just focusing on the college ministry side of things. And so I think my experience has been that it's really expanded my heart, which I think needed to happen at that phase in our ministry. Yeah. Nancy, what about you? How's God been speaking to you?
Yeah, I think for me, by nature, I'm very driven by wanting to perform well, and doing ministry in a way it fulfills. It kind of feeds into that ego of like, oh, we're trying to plan different events and run ministry and stuff. But I think the past half a year, though, what I'm learning is that they're like. Ministry is not the only thing, or like, how do I say? Trying to run hard in ministry is not all that Christian life is, or community life is. And I think in our context is also like where we have a 2-year-old son and he's going through his terrible twos. and I think like oftentimes I just feel this tension of like, yeah, it's probably good for us to dedicate our attention to him and kind of notice his patterns and like address that. But at the same time, week after week, we are pretty busy with trying to plan out ministry events and things like that. So I think one thing that I'm learning is in the areas that I feel very lack of experience in, like specifically when it comes to raising young kids, I can just receive help from the outside. And that can go hand in hand with running ministry. It's not like one or the other, if that makes sense. But I think it's kind of like the past couple months, it's been busy. But also, I just also feel like we've received the most amount of help when it comes to like trying to address Micah's behavioral issue and having office hour with you and Kata, where it's not like every week. Actually, oftentimes, those office hours end up being talking about like, oh, this new pattern we noticed about Micah.
About Micah, yeah. It's like you would think we're talking about ministry strategy, but
It's a Micah strategy.
Yeah, it's the Micah strategy.
Yes.
Yeah, our ministry strategy discussion is probably like 3% of our discussion.
Yeah. So I think that's been something that I really appreciate because we are in this season of life. So we can't just be like, forget about, the child's need or like our responsibility as parents and just run hard on ministry. Like we run hard, but at the same time, we also notice what we need to take ownership of.
Yeah. I appreciate that because as we enter into new phases of life, like we become married and we have children and you have 2 children. The thing is, we want to make sure that our devotion to God is still being upheld utmost, right? That we are worshiping God. And I think we have kind of a healthy distrust of ourselves. I think at our church, we do talk a lot about our natural inclination towards sin and our natural inclination toward idolatry. And the greatest idols that take over our lives are the best things, right? So that's why, it's things like career and money, because those are good things. Those are blessings. And then it's things like our children. And it's very possible that our children can become kind of something that and people that are so precious to us that we want to just devote all of our energies to that and therefore start to push God and the ministry and the church away. Now, so that's theoretically possible. And so because of that, I think a lot of our couples, I think you guys included, want to just continue to run hard in ministry and really push ourselves so that, we're not making excuses for ourselves and we don't want to set a bad precedent before, younger ones who come after us and things like that. And so I think a lot of our couples are really conscientious about that and really want to continue to push hard. And you know what? I think that's a beautiful thing. I actually think that's a good thing. And so then when couples are doing that and wanting to push hard, part of my role and part of me and Kata's role as we kind of, we're in charge of the ministry strategy here in Chicago, but we're also we're in charge of shepherding the flock, right? And we're in charge of making sure everyone's healthy and spiritual healthy, that family and marriages and children are doing okay. And so then part of our role is to say, hey, it's actually okay. I know you guys want to give more right now for ministry, but here's a season where actually we need to invest into Micah or we need to invest into our children. Right. And then sometimes that's seasonal, like, okay, hey, September, man, that's go time and we need to push. But hey, it's October now. And so we don't need to push as hard. So, hey, let's slow things down. And so we're kind of just trying to manage that and helping people have perspective. Yeah. And so for me and Kat, I think just being able to, I guess we have a weekly check-in with you guys too. And theoretically, it's supposed to be about ministry to make sure international ministry is going okay. But yeah, that's true. Actually, that most of our check-ins in the last couple months have been about Micah and just finding new strategies to work on some new behavioral thing that came up. Not that like Micah's such a bad kid or something. He's actually quite good, but there's the typical burdens that parents have about their kids, and because you have high vision for him and want him to become a godly man later. So yeah, for me it's a joy to engage in that and try to figure out our kids together, because I feel like they're such a precious entrustment from God, and then we know that your second kid's coming and want to make sure that Micah's ready. Micah's ready to receive younger sibling. I don't know. Is he going to be okay? Is he going to be
at least he knows that where the baby is, it's in mom's belly, and that
it's not in his belly.
The fold in his belly is the food baby. Yeah. It's not the real baby.
Oh yeah, because there was a period where he was pointing at his own belly and saying the baby's there, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. It's not how it works, Micah. That's so funny. Oh man. So okay, we're coming up on time here, but do you guys have any questions for me as you think about our conversation and or just things going on right now? What questions do you have for me?
Yeah, I guess I'll just follow up with, the topic of parenthood we were just talking about it. Because I know a lot of times we get advice to first-time parents, but as you have experienced being parents of 2 for 5 years now, I don't know if you have any like good advice for that transition and also just how to, continue to balance different things in life with the needs for 2 kids.
Yeah. I'm really bad at giving advice. Kata should be here for this. She's a lot better at giving practical advice. My brain tends to go like really abstract and high level. But but I think what comes to mind right now is that I think it just helps to know and name that I think the second child is tougher than the first child. I think. I've heard of several. I've talked about this with some of my friends, and a lot of them do agree with this. So I don't remember much from the first 4 or 5 months of Lucas being born. Actually, I have very little recollection. I actually didn't know that I had a hard time until like recently, until like 2 years ago, when actually network wide we started talking about like, oh, parents with 2 kids and how it's a really hard adjustment. And at the leadership level, we started talking about this and hey, how can we help people through that transition? And then I realized, oh, is that what I was experiencing during that time? I think I was experiencing it being hard. but it was also during COVID for us. So everything was just hard. Mm-hmm. Everything was hard. Everything was weird. Nothing felt normal. So I just didn't know that that's what I was going through. Mm-hmm. And so I think just naming the fact that it's not easy and it's not the same as having your first kid. Because the thing is now you don't have 1 kid, you have 2 kids. And they're both still needy. Like, it's not like Micah's like 8 and is sufficient, right? Like he's out of diapers, which is great. But like, but he's still kind of, he's still emotionally needy. He's still a young toddler and he needs to be taken care of. And so it doesn't require twice as much though. I think it requires like 3 or 4 times as much effort because, again, it's just logistically more complicated. Mm-hmm. There's an extra personality involved. So all of that. So having said that, I think you guys will have to be much more okay with things drastically slowing down in your life for a period, and together we'll have to figure out what does your role look like, right? What does international ministry look like during this new phase, so that we can make sure that the kids grow up well, the international ministry and the staff under you are still healthy, and there's a right level of challenge for everybody. Mm-hmm. We may need to restructure the ministry in some ways to make that happen. So, yeah. So again, I don't know what practical.
It's all strategy, right?
It's all very high level. So, because I should probably think about this more because this will happen more. So, anyways, you're forcing me to think about it. But I don't know what the practical advice is.
Mental preparedness.
That's the main thing.
Accept it's gonna be harder.
Yeah, accept that it's gonna be harder. Yeah, that's the first step.
Just face it.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, my one other question is like, it's more like a high level one. Like, where do you see our church? Like, I guess like Chicago church specifically in like 3 to 5 years.
I guess what we're doing in Chicago church right now is that we have Sunday services as the main vehicle through which people discover us and then they get plugged in. Okay. So whether they're a domestic or international student, like the Sunday service is one of the ways that they can interact with us. And then we also have ISMP going on the side. So that's for international, non-Christian students. So that's how we meet them. What I would like is to figure out how we can become sort of a mini region within Chicago. That's one way I'm thinking about it. And by that, I mean like, I think the only way to reach Chicago is to just have many chapters of whatever it is that we're doing. And so I think a year ago, I had thought maybe the future of Chicago is like having a mega service in downtown where everyone can come to that. But after just different things we've been realizing, I'm starting to think that the future of Chicago is actually, instead of one mega service, what if we go for 10 small services, and then with ISMP too, like it's like, it's not going to be a mega, like there's some things that we consolidate, but in the end we have to figure out how can we be ISMP at multiple points throughout the city so that all these places that have international students or college students can actually interact with us, right? And all of that's going to mean raising up more leaders. It's going to mean raising up student leaders as well as staff, right? So that's why one of our big changes for 2026 is that for the first time in a really long time, I won't be the only regular preacher. I'm going to have some of the younger guys start to get some reps in preaching so that they can get used to it, so that depending on how they do, like maybe they can take on more and more, and maybe they can even start doing it weekly. I don't know how long that'll take, but that's sort of the future that I see. And then when you get to a certain size and you've spread out enough, then maybe you can start consolidating into kind of bigger gatherings where that makes sense. And I think we'll see that based on who comes from which campus. I also, depending on how many people we keep sending people out from Chicago. I find it really painful. Like, I believe in the Great Commission, and so I believe in sending people out, but it's been really painful to like send out our most experienced leaders off in a lot of cases. And so we're like train them up, and I'm like, all right, yeah, we can entrust them with something in Chicago, and then boom, they're gone. So I'm like,
they're entrusted with something else now.
I guess they're gone now. All right, so raise up more. So I think the shape, I don't know, like there's a part of me that's like, people should just stay in Chicago so we can keep figuring out how to reach more Chicago. But hey, if 5 years from now, we're basically the exact same size, doing the exact same thing, but we sent out a bunch of leaders that we trained up from here to other places, then I think in that way, we're also fulfilling the Great Commission too. So in the end, I would be like very happy with that result too. Like if it looks like nothing happened, but actually you don't understand because you don't know how many leaders we've sent off from this church,
long kingdom workers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think that would be also another way to see that vision. Like, what if Chicago's like a training grounds? Because I think we have tough campuses here. I honestly do. I feel like our campuses are tough. And if you can do outreach and ministry on our campuses, then you can go anywhere and you can just try whatever. So, anyways, that's what comes to mind. Nice. All right. Yeah. Thanks, guys, for coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. All right. That's another episode of dPod, where I'm just like cramming it all in before the year is over. So we'll see how many more episodes we release. All right. See ya.